The village of Lumani was peaceful, but everything was about to change because of one girl. This village was filled with smiling faces. People there lived happily among tall green trees and colorful fields. Everyone followed special traditions that made Lumani a happy place. One very important rule in Lumani was that all girls must remain pure. This meant girls could not be close to boys until they were married. The parents in Lumani loved this rule and proudly told each other, "My daughter is pure, just like every girl in our village." They felt proud because they believed their girls were special and respected this tradition deeply. But one day, something terrible happened. A strange curse suddenly came over the village, causing sadness and trouble everywhere. To stop this curse, the king said they needed a special girl, someone completely pure. He promised that this special girl would marry the prince, and her parents would get many wonderful gifts and money. Excited parents quickly brought their daughters to the palace. Each parent believed their daughter was pure and would easily pass the test. They all wanted their daughters to marry into the royal family. At the palace, an old wise man named Kamisi stepped forward. He held a big clay pot and spoke loudly. Inside, "This pot is a necklace blessed by our ancestors. Only a truly pure maiden can pull it out. This will show us who will save Lumani." One by one, the girls reached nervously into the pot. But each time they pulled out nothing. People became worried, whispering anxiously. Finally, it was the turn of the chief's daughters. These girls were famous for their beauty and kindness. Yet even they failed. The villagers were shocked and confused. They whispered sadly, "How can this be? Not even the chief's daughters are pure." Elders felt worried too. They had always believed their traditions were strong, but now something seemed very wrong. Soon, everyone was talking about the mystery, until the girls began shouting, "It's not our fault. It's Auntie Zahara's fault." All eyes turned angrily towards Zahara, a young woman from the city. Villagers started whispering about her, blaming her for the curse. An old woman complained loudly, "Zahara brought city ways to our village. Our girls forgot our traditions because of her." Another villager said sadly, "She changed our girls. Now look at Lumani." And this is how the story began. Long before these problems started, a beautiful young woman named Zahara came from the big city to visit her aunt in Lumani. Zahara was different from everyone else. She wore bright, beautiful clothes. When Zahara walked through the village, she looked confident like a queen, making everyone notice her immediately. Men in Lumani whispered, "Wow, who is this beautiful woman?" Village girls watched Zahara, fascinated by her beauty and confidence. They dreamed about looking like her. One girl whispered quietly, "I want clothes just like Zahara." Another said, "She looks like a queen." Zahara was special because she was new and exciting. The girls wanted to be like her, but Zahara had a secret that would soon change everything in Lumani. Zahara's secret was that the men who admired her gave her gifts and money secretly. But this was not just because Zahara was pretty. It was because Zahara spent time secretly with them in ways the village rules did not allow. One day, Amale, the chief's oldest daughter, became curious. She wondered why Zahara always had nice clothes and lots of money. Amale quietly followed Zahara and saw her secretly meeting a man from the village, accepting money from him. Amale thought, "So this is Zahara's secret. Men give her gifts because she spends secret time with them." Amale had always been good and followed village rules carefully. But now she felt curious and wanted nice things and attention too. The next day, Amale secretly met with a merchant who liked her. He gave her gifts and money just like Zahara got. Amale felt excited. She thought, "This is easy. I can have nice things too." Amale quickly told her friends about Zahara's secret. At first, they felt surprised, but soon they also wanted gifts and attention. More girls followed Zahara's ways. They dressed in bright clothes, wore makeup, and secretly met with men. They whispered to each other, "If Zahara and Amali can do it, why can't we?" Zahara saw this change and realized she could get more money. She began secretly organizing meetings between the girls and men, taking some of the money. Zahara told them, "I'll handle everything. Just be nice to the men." The girls trusted Zahara and listened carefully. The village girls loved the gifts and attention. Soon, they forgot their traditions about staying pure. They thought they were just having fun, but they didn't see the trouble coming. The elders and parents in Lumani still believed the girls followed their rules. They didn't know that behind closed doors, traditions were quietly breaking. The girls hid their secret perfectly. Around their parents, they acted normal, went to village gatherings and did their daily chores. Nobody noticed they were living very differently behind closed doors, breaking all the rules quietly. Meeting secretly with men became common among the village girls. They didn't feel ashamed anymore. Instead, they felt special and happy because of their new secret lives. They liked the attention and freedom. Without realizing it, the important traditions of Lumani were slowly breaking apart. One day, something terrible happened. Plants started drying up, animals got sick, and even the villagers started falling ill with strange symptoms. Fear quickly spread across Lumani. People felt confused, wondering why these terrible things were happening. Hadn't they always respected their gods and followed their traditions? The frightened villagers gathered and decided to visit Elder Kamisi, the wise old man who spoke with the spirits. They came to Kamisi's house, deeply worried and asking for answers. Kamisi listened carefully, closing his eyes to think deeply. Finally, after a long silence, he spoke seriously. "The gods are angry with Lumani. Our traditions have been broken. The purity of our girls has been lost. To fix this, 2 pure maidens must carry a sacrifice to the sacred altar." Everyone gasped. They were shocked by his words. They had always trusted their girls and traditions, but now doubt filled their hearts. Had their traditions really broken down? Kamisi continued seriously. "The sacrifice must happen within 2 days. If we fail, the curse will become stronger, causing more suffering." All the girls and their parents quickly gathered again. Elder Kamisi tested each girl with the special pot once more. This time, something terrible was revealed clearly. Not even one pure maiden was found. Zahara's secret had changed them all. Kamisi spoke with great sadness. "The gods see everything," he said seriously. "They are angry. We must continue searching, or the curse will destroy our village." Now the villagers understood their terrible situation. The purity they trusted so deeply had vanished. They realized that their daughters, who once made them proud, had failed. Fear and worry grew heavy among the villagers. Soon, everyone blamed Zahara. She became a symbol of all the trouble in Lumani. Villagers angrily said she had led their daughters away from tradition and angered the gods. Zahara felt heavy with guilt and sadness. News reached Zahara's parents in the city. They rushed to Lumani, shocked and ashamed. Her father, very strict and disappointed, said, "We should have raised Zahara better. We were too soft, and now she has brought shame upon us." Her mother, who always gave Zahara freedom, cried sadly, "I should have been stricter. She was our only child, and now look at all the trouble she has caused." As villagers whispered angrily, Zahara felt terrible guilt. She finally understood the pain she caused. She realized the villagers were right to blame her. Her heart felt heavy, knowing she had led the girls of Lumani down the wrong path. The elders knew they had to act quickly to fix their broken traditions and end the curse. They gathered everyone together, deciding that Zahara alone must carry the sacrifice to the gods as punishment. All eyes turned toward Zahara, waiting to see how she would fix the problems she created. Zahara stood before the village feeling scared, sad, and sorry. She finally understood clearly that her choices had brought harm to everyone. The village waited silently, watching her closely. wondering if she could truly save Lumani from her terrible mistake. Everyone stared angrily and sadly at Zahara. Her parents stood nearby, feeling helpless. They knew they couldn't protect their daughter from what she had done or from the villagers' anger. Wise Elder Kamisi stepped forward, holding a large clay bowl filled with gifts for the gods. He handed the bowl to Zahara and spoke seriously. "You must carry this bowl to the sacred altar deep in the forest. You must go alone. This is your punishment and your responsibility." Zahara quietly placed the heavy bowl on her head. She walked slowly through the village streets, feeling everyone's angry stares and hearing their disappointed whispers. Her heart felt heavy and sad. When Zahara entered the thick forest, tall trees closed around her, and she felt truly alone. The path became difficult, filled with sharp stones and tangled branches. For 2 long days, Zahara walked without stopping. Her feet hurt badly, and tears filled her eyes. She thought deeply about everything she had done. Zahara remembered how happy she felt when the men gave her gifts and attention. She also remembered how Amale and other village girls had admired her and wanted to be just like her. Now Zahara saw how wrong she had been. She realized that the attention she loved was very short-lived and not important at all. She understood clearly that her actions had led everyone away from traditions that once kept Lumani safe and happy. Finally, tired and weak, Zahara reached the sacred altar hidden deep in the forest. Carefully, she placed the bowl on the altar and fell to her knees. She cried loudly to the gods, begging them for forgiveness. Zahara prayed deeply for the curse to be lifted and for peace to return to Lumani. In that moment, she felt the full weight of her mistakes and the harm she had caused. When Zahara stood up to leave, a feeling of calm came over her. She knew she must bravely face whatever happened next, even if it meant losing her family and friends forever. After finishing her journey, Zahara walked slowly back toward Lumani. As she got closer, she sensed something had changed. Villagers gathered, watching her carefully. Slowly, plants began growing again, animals became healthy, and villagers started recovering from sickness. The curse was lifted at last, but Zahara's punishment was not finished yet. Elder Kamisi stood before everyone and announced loudly, "The gods have accepted the sacrifice. The curse is gone, but Zahara must face punishment. She will not be allowed to leave Lumani for 12 years. During this time, she will carry all sacrifices to the gods." Villagers nodded, feeling better now that the curse had ended, but they still blamed Zahara. As punishment, Zahara was given a small hut near the shrine, far from everyone else. People avoided her, and she became very lonely. Every day she carried offerings to the shrine and took care of it, always alone. She thought deeply about her mistakes and the pain she caused. The bright, cheerful city girl had become quiet and sad, carrying the heavy burden of what she'd done. Meanwhile, Lumani villagers began repairing their broken traditions. Elders reminded everyone about the importance of purity, respect, and village values. They decided nobody from the city could ever visit Lumani again. They did not want the same mistakes repeated. Zahara's story became a lesson that parents told their children. They warned them about the city girl who caused trouble, teaching them how important it was to respect traditions and make wise choices. Zahara became a symbol of what happens when traditions are broken. For 12 long years, Zahara lived alone, feeling deeply sorry for everything. Her punishment was not just loneliness, it taught her important lessons inside her heart. She learned true beauty comes from kindness, respect, and following traditions. Over time, Lumani healed, but villagers never forgot Zahara's story. It was passed down from generation to generation, teaching children about humility, respect, and good choices. Zahara's story had a sad ending, but it taught Lumani a valuable lesson. Everyone remembered how precious their traditions truly were. The curse was lifted, but Zahara's punishment had just begun. Would Lumani ever forgive her? If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, comment what you learned from the tale, and subscribe for more enchanting African stories.